You think this is all there is? Wake up, work, sleep, repeat? Nah. You were born for something greater, something eternal. And deep down, you feel it. That whisper inside your chest. It's not noise, it's purpose. Let me tell you something. It's time you start listening to it. You see, life, it's not about proving the world wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Right about what God put inside you. Right about the dreams that nobody clapped for, but you kept alive anyway. Some people wake up and they already feel defeated. They haven't even gotten out of bed, and the world already convinced them they're not enough. But you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, then that means God's not finished with you yet. Don't waste another day scrolling, doubting, comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Listen to me. Your path ain't supposed to look like theirs. Your pain, your detours, your delays, they were all training grounds, preparation, a setup for something bigger than you can see right now. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon. Nobody handed me anything. But you know what I did have? I had a praying mother. I had a voice in my heart that said, "Don't quit." And when the lights were off, when the roles weren't coming in, when it felt like the world forgot me, I remembered why I started. And that's what you need. You need to remember why you're fighting, why you can't give up now. Not now. Not after everything you've survived. You've cried, but you kept moving. You failed, but you kept trying. You've been overlooked, but you never overlooked your vision. That makes you dangerous. That makes you anointed. You think this life is just about money, fame, followers? Come on. You were made for more than that. You were made to lead, to love, to rise up when others lay down, to be a light in the dark, to speak when silence is more comfortable. You're not average. You're not accidental. You're assigned, chosen. And when you understand that, you walk different. You talk different. You dream bigger. Now I want you to do something. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to look in the mirror. Not just at your face. Look into your eyes. Stare past the tiredness, past the insecurity, past the fear, and say out loud, period. I'm still here, and I'm not done yet. Because you're not. You've got breath, you've got power, and you've got a calling. Don't you dare bury your purpose under the soil of self-doubt. The world is waiting on what's inside you, but it can't rise until you do. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you stopped running? Not from the world, but from yourself. You've been moving so fast, trying to stay ahead of the fear, trying to stay ahead of the silence. But what if the silence was the very place God was trying to meet you? You see, most people fear the quiet, because in the quiet, there's no filter, no distraction, no applause, just you, and that still, small voice. That voice isn't your enemy. It's your direction. It's your blueprint. But you've got to get still long enough to hear it. Sometimes God's greatest messages come wrapped in silence. Not thunder, not lightning, not likes or follows, but stillness. I've sat in rooms with millionaires, with gold trophies, and empty hearts. I've seen people gain the world, but lose themselves on the way up. Don't let that be you. Don't lose the real you chasing a version of success that doesn't even fit your soul. Listen, your value doesn't come from validation. It doesn't come from algorithms or applause. It comes from alignment. When your soul, your purpose, and your gifts all flow in the same direction. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. Honest about what hurts, honest about what heals, honest about where you're headed and who you want to become. Growth is ugly, friend. It's not all highlight reels and success quotes. Sometimes it's crying in your car, wondering if this all means something. But it does. It means everything. Because what you build in secret becomes your strength in public. What you conquer alone becomes the courage you give away to someone else. There's somebody out there right now, watching you, waiting on you to win. They don't even know your name, but they're gonna hear your story one day and feel like they've known you forever. Because your journey, your pain, your victory is going to unlock someone else's purpose. You were never just fighting for you. You've been blazing a trail for people you haven't even met yet. So when you feel tired, when you feel unseen, when the weight of it all gets heavy, remember this, period. It's not for nothing. Every step matters. Every scar speaks. Every prayer you thought went unheard is echoing through heaven right now. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. Keep building. Keep becoming. Keep believing. Because your becoming is someone else's breakthrough. You want to know why most people never rise? It's not because they're not gifted. It's because they don't believe they're worthy of rising. Somewhere along the way, someone convinced them to settle, to shrink, to play small. And the worst part? They listened. But I need you to hear me now. I don't care what they told you. I don't care what your past looks like. I don't care if nobody believes in you right now, because God does. And if God believes in you, why are you arguing with Him? You don't have to qualify yourself. You were already called. You were called to break generational curses, to walk into rooms your ancestors couldn't enter, to carry light into places that only knew darkness. That's not hype. That's heaven's assignment. But here's the catch. It won't be easy. Legacy doesn't come without weight. But pressure makes diamonds. And fire doesn't just burn, it refines. You've been through the fire. I know you have. I can hear it in your silence. But look at you. You're still here. You're still standing, which means the fire didn't destroy you. It developed you. Too many people give up in the process and never make it to the promise. But not you. You've come too far. You've cried too much. You've prayed too long to turn back now. And if nobody told you lately, I'm proud of you for still believing, for still hoping, for showing up even when the room didn't clap. That takes courage. That takes faith. And that's the kind of faith that moves mountains. Now listen closely. I don't care if you're 19 or 90. If there's breath in your lungs, God still has a blueprint for your life. Don't let the delay fool you into thinking the dream is dead. Delays don't mean denial. Sometimes, God holds the promise until your character can carry it. You ever wonder why it's taking so long? Maybe what you asked for requires a version of you haven't fully become yet. But that's all right. Keep building. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work when nobody's watching. Because one day, the harvest will come. And when it does, everything you lost, everything you fought for, everything you carried in silence will make sense. But until then, walk like you know it's coming. Speak like it's already yours. Pray like heaven is listening, because it is. And when you look back, when you see the miles you walked, the storms you stood through, the nights you didn't give up, you'll smile. Not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. Let me tell you something people don't like to hear. Obedience is louder than ambition. Anybody can chase a dream, but can you surrender to a calling? See, ambition says, I'll do it my way, but obedience says, I'll do it God's way. And there's a difference, a real difference, because you can chase status, build your name, even gain success in the world's eyes, and still miss your assignment. Let that sit. You can win the applause of man and still lose the approval of God. That's why discipline matters. That's why alignment matters, because favor flows through order. You can't ask for elevation if you're not walking in obedience. You can't cry for breakthrough and still cling to broken habits. Listen to me. You're not just carrying your own destiny. You're carrying the blueprint for generations. And that means your life can't be casual. It has to be intentional. Because what you do in secret shapes what God does through you in public. I'm not saying be perfect. I'm saying be willing. Willing to wake up when it's hard. Willing to keep praying when it's quiet. Willing to believe when nothing's changing. That's faith. That's warrior-level obedience. You see, every great move of God started with someone ordinary who was willing to do the extraordinary thing, obey. It wasn't their strength. It was their surrender. God doesn't need your perfection. He needs your position. Now let's get real. Obedience will cost you. Sometimes it'll cost you popularity. Sometimes it'll cost you comfort. Sometimes it'll cost you what you thought you wanted. But it'll gain you peace. It'll gain you clarity. It'll gain you presence. And when God's presence is with you, you don't need anything else. You ever wonder why some doors didn't open? Why some people walked away? Why some plans fell apart? It wasn't punishment. It was protection. God blocked it so you could become it. So you could become the man, the woman, the leader, the example the world needs. See, the more you obey, the clearer the path becomes. Not because the road gets easy, but because your vision gets sharper. Some of you, you're in a season right now where obedience feels like a prison, but it's actually a preparation room. God is teaching you to walk when nobody's watching, to stand before anyone sees the stage, to win battles in private before He gives you public victory. That's where legacy is born, not in platforms, but in private obedience. So don't chase the spotlight. Chase alignment. Don't chase fame. Chase faithfulness. Because when heaven sees you aligned, doors will open you didn't knock on. Blessings will find you you didn't even pray for. And one day, you'll look back and thank God He made you wait. You'll thank Him for the pain, for the silence, for the doors He closed, because those closed doors led you to the right ones. Walk in obedience. Live in obedience. Lead in obedience. Because legacy doesn't follow comfort. It follows conviction.